All right, welcome to yet another weekend market analysis. It's quite a late review, but don't you worry, we are not late. The market in a few more minutes should be opened, and of course, the price should begin to take. Well, before the market closed last week, we saw a bit of momentum, which at least gave us some hope that a momentum is beginning to return to the market. Otherwise, it's been a non-tradable market for some weeks, all right? And so there is absolutely nothing we can do about that. Let's just quickly look into the Forex factory and see those fundamental events that we're expecting for this upcoming trading week. All right, we have quite a good number of high impact news announcements here. You can see all of them right there. The most highest that we need to give special attention here are the employment data that will be affecting the American dollar and the Canadian dollar. Currency pairs on Friday, the 4th of December. December is the very last trading month for this year, and of course, this should be the very last NFP for the year, and of course, we may see some extra market momentum as the final decision for the year will be taken. Again, interest rate announcement for the Australian dollar on Tuesday. This is another heavyweight high impact news announcement that you need to give special attention. The OPEC have been meeting since Sunday. That should continue till Monday. All right. Well, these are fundamental events. We need to give them special attention as we trade. Let's now look into the charts and see what we have waiting for us. Well, it seems I am just going through the same pairs that I have been analyzing for some weeks now, and that is because in the many other pairs there has been no significant change, okay, in price. There has been no significant change in price to warrant any type of market analysis. In fact, as price action traders, once price goes dead, it becomes extremely difficult for us to trade. Right, so let's look into the euro against the American dollar. I am actually going to be looking into the bigger picture for most of the pairs. The euro against the American dollar, this is the monthly time frame. As you can see, price never made that pullback, at least to retest that key area that we have been waiting to see price come all the way. It never made that pullback. After the US election, we have seen price begin to push to the upside. Well, whenever this happens, we are likely going to have a range. Okay, we're likely going to have a range, some hesitation, but the exact pattern of the range is what is unclear. We may have a standard a standard range formation, where price keeps banging up and down, or we may have that sort of expanding triangle formation where price goes up then come back down again. At any rate, the year will wrap up, and it seems it's going to wrap up in this congestion that we have right there. So eventually in the monthly time frame, what we have is likely going to be that push to the upside, then a sideways buyers, then either a continuation move or a crash to the downside. So let's look into the weekly time frame. This is the range I was talking about that we may be expecting, either this type of range or this type of range, okay, where we have that push to that area then come back down. So we may have a range around this zone. So with that, well, you can see the low market volume in the daily time frame. You can see the type of candles that we got, very tiny candles, but then it kept pushing to the upside. All right, the directional bias, even though the market volume was low, remains to the upside. Well, you can also see the price has been trading around very difficult resistance area. All right, the shaded zone is our resistance area that price is currently trading against, and we will not in any way hit on our buy button against that area. You can also see a counter trend line running around that area. We've analyzed this previously, and of course price has to deal with all of those resistance if it must push to the upside. For now, since there is no valid sell opportunity, we are just going to be watching to see what happens at this particular area of resistance. At best, we'll keep searching for short opportunities until this area is broken. Okay. All right, so that's it. Let's look into another pair, the New Zealand dollar against the American dollar. In the very long term, you can see how price has broken that key level of resistance. All right, key level of resistance taken out. Price is now again trading just above another level of resistance right here. But then with this heavy push to the upside, hey, it is risky hitting on your buy button at that high. At best, you always want price to make a pullback. From there on, you can now look for your continuation move. In the weekly time frame, price is again still trading around problematic zone. If you connect that counter trend line, that level, this one and this one, is still around problematic zone. This area here, it's not a zone I will want to hit on my buy button. At best, I want price to push above. Okay, right now I will be more interested in even looking for short opportunities. I've said that in the last week, but then there has been no valid short entries, and so price just keeps taking that lower market volume, as you can see in the daily time frame. Just look at those candles, very tiny candles right here, but then it keeps pushing to the upside. Well, with this low market volume, I will not trade anything here. I'll be waiting for the best market opportunities or the best setup to look for my entries, and I will favor more of short entries than buy if I find my setups. Okay. All right, sterling pounds against the Canadian dollar. I just want to show you here that, hey, we have been in lots of hesitation since the Brexit issue started. We have been sideways. This area here, that zone has been resistance, and this zone here has been support. Price is trading around resistance area. Be very careful, because we may see a drop back down to support zone. But then again, with the very tiny market volume around this pair, it has been extremely difficult again to trade this pair. Weekly time frame, last week we saw that rejection of that resistance zone. Well, the bulls are still there. The bears have not really given the green light to be heading downwards, so we'll keep watching and following the market. The price action in the daily time frame, as you can see, it's worst. Okay, worst for not something good enough to trade. All right, the Australian dollar against the American dollar again. Possible range formation around this axis. After this massive run to the upside, we're likely going to go sideways. All right, so price may be trading, in fact price is trading around resistance zone. This is the support area, so you should be expecting some ranges. Okay, at any rate, you should of course know that price is currently around resistance area, so we may have another push back down again, confirming this level as support. So everything will happen for at this particular area for now. All right, as the year tends to wrap up trading activities. Okay, at any rate, we are only anticipating that the range might be this. It may also be this, an expanding triangle. Okay, anything is possible. So at any rate, we are expecting a range for now. In the weekly time frame, that's the range I was talking about. That's high there, support here. Well, let's just keep watching. I have been following most of these pairs. Unfortunately, there has been no valid entry for us to jump on board. In the daily time frame, you can see how price has been trading in very tiny market volume, very thin market volume, right there sideways. I was following this flat top triangle. It got broken, but then look at the type of candles that we got after that breakout. This is not something you can trade. We cannot get involved in that type of market condition, even though price still looks bullish, but then it is trading around resistance axis, and you really do not want to get involved with long entries at that point. So we need to keep watching and waiting for price to leave the problematic zones. How about the American dollar against the Swiss franc? Well, it is obvious that this pair, just like the euro against the American dollar, is pointing to the downside right now. But then we may also be expecting a range formation, right? The range right there. So in the weekly time frame, at worst, what I am expecting here is that we may be having that channel just like we anticipated in the euro against the American dollar. Okay, but then it is a range. After this fall to the downside, we are not going sideways. For now, this is support, and this area here is resistance. Okay, so it's much of heavy hesitation going on around that area. So let's be a bit careful and wait for price to move away from that congestion. Then we can begin to look for possible entries. Okay, all right. Australian dollar against the Canadian dollar, not quite different from most of the pairs that we have analyzed. Again, after that massive push to the upside, don't be surprised to see a sideways bias. The hesitation is already too much for about 5 months. Price has remained flat. All right, price has been sideways. This again might be our support and this resistance. In the weekly time frame, maybe a flat bottom triangle right there. That's support. This is resistance. We may find resistance there. Price comes back down, then we will find support around here. For now, it is still a sideways bias. Okay, even last week the momentum to the upside was quite very thin. You can see how price has remained sideways in this area with very thin market volume. It is extremely hard for each successive candle to push above the high of the order. So that kind of thin market volume, we cannot trade profitably in that situation. Okay, all right folks, so don't you worry, I am fully here. We are fully here watching the market. Once things improve, of course we will let you know. We will begin trading. For now, we are still on the sideline. No trading for us. Be careful and watch your money. Make sure you don't take too much risk. The years ahead, the trading years ahead, will be more profitable than what we have today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. We'll talk again hopefully by next weekend. Trade profitably. Bye bye.